And we're gonna try and do the SM AOE cap, post AOE cap thing. So I'm gonna do, here's my talents. You can screen cap that if you want. That blink was kind of late. This should be fine though. Well, you know what? I didn't get gems. Just try without gems today. I'm gonna do this too, actually. So normally I would have blinked. I would have had 2 blinks and that wouldn't have happened. That's why I'm a little confused. But it should be okay. Counterspell big boy in the middle there. It pulls everything, obviously. And yeah, you just want to pretty much blink on cooldown, with some exception. I'll explain. Run into this group and then blink. I think you have to do that because sometimes this guy doesn't pull. Okay, so what I was saying about the blink is when we're coming around this way, we want to run to the corner. And as soon as they're really close to us, obviously cutting corners where we can, that's when we blink. If we blink too early, then it kind of screws us up. So, getting pretty lucky, not taking any Frostbolt slows yet. But you do want to save, if you are a gnome, you want to save your escape artist for when you get a slow, because that's a 14-second debuff compared to the 4-second debuff of the Frostbolt. So you don't want to waste your escape artist on the Frostbolt. But yeah, other than that, we're just kind of going. I'm going to put on my Mage armor at this point, because what I do not want is for the mobs to hit me when I'm in the kill spot, and for them to be slowed, because then they will not catch up to where they need to be quite as easily. So yeah, I do Blizzard there, kind of stack them up a bit more. I'm going to go ahead and blink. This will buy me plenty of time to get my shield going and to do a big boy Blizzard here. I may get hodged, so I was kind of lucky that I didn't. I mean, he doesn't always hodge all the time, but he does definitely hodge. And yeah, you just want to precast the Blizzard a little bit. Just make sure this is looking good. As soon as he's there, I'm going to jump down and do Icy Veins. Just start that early and often. But the main point is that we just kind of move back and forth, and we do not let the mobs get close to us. And we want to put the Blizzard way back in the corner there. Way back. Because if we do too far forward, then we're slowing the mobs as they come towards us going the other direction. And that can be deadly. So you might be able to see also that I'm fire blasting the boss when I can. It's kind of nice to keep his health down, but you know, it's not the end of the world either way, really. The main thing is basically just to keep them back there. Keep all my shields up. And now that I have my elemental, I'm going to have them single target onto Mograine, because he is actually the biggest threat of any of the mobs since he has a stun. When you do get stunned, you can go ahead and ice block and potentially be okay, but it is definitely sketchy. I will say that much. Right now he's bubbled. There's my second freeze here. So yeah, each elemental will have 2 freezes within 30 seconds that it's alive, and you definitely want to use both of them, because freeze, in the first place, does a lot of damage, and in the second place, I mean, not a lot, but it's like 100. Does damage, and obviously keeps them in place, which is great. And I am going to go ahead and cold snap and use that for the rest of my kill phase here. As I'm getting the boss really low, and using this freeze. Again, we're gonna make sure our elemental is on the boss. And now is the phase where it gets to be a little annoying, where they start splitting up. So you want to be a little careful here. once they start getting behind you, it can be potentially life-threatening. So yeah, with all these going behind me, I like to just jump back and forth and kind of just arcane explosion them when they get close, because they do die pretty quickly like that, and once they're gone, it's the rest of it is so much easier. Yeah, I'm kind of doing a bad job of keeping my shield up, but the main reason for that is I'm trying to keep the mobs stacked up and not running away. And the way to do that is to just keep Blizzard going. So if you ever stop Blizzard, obviously it will let them spread out more because they'll be faster when they're running away. And they hit like runaway phase and it's like, I don't know, 30% health or something like that. But you saw it wasn't really that big of a problem for me there. And yeah, that was phase 1. Now we're going to go to Armory. At this point in the run, I would have a evocation typically, but I used it right before I started recording, so I do have it on cooldown. At this point in the run, I would evocate for sure if I was if this was more of a real run. But this is just kind of to showcase that the AOE cap is still possible. What is the time looking like with a mage? Is Mage viable in TBC for AOE boosting at this level phase? And I think the answer is yes. So yeah, now that we're in here, I will go ahead and evocate. But this pool is pretty much just the courtyard. It's not too difficult at all. It's not that many mobs, you know. It's pretty straightforward. You will want to use Fire Ward instead of Frost Ward for this section, because obviously the evokers use Fire Ward instead of Frostbolt. Sorry, they use Firebolt instead of Frostbolt. So yeah, I'm just gonna go and grab everything. I usually get this little section here as well, rather than only the courtyard. Just because I like to make this pull slightly larger to kind of make the 2 pulls equal, because I like the 2-pull armory. It may not even be worth it to do the 2-pull. I'm actually not sure at this point. But yeah, if you're going to do a 2-pull, you want to make the mob count as equal as possible. And yeah, just kind of blizzard them down. Because we have just over 10 here, because you can see the amount is less than 180, which would be what it would be like if there were only 10 or fewer. But it's not way less, you know? It's not like 30, like it was in Cathedral. So we have probably like 15 mobs. I don't have a mob counter add-on with this, but obviously in Real Classic I would have had that weak aura copied over. But yeah, we just want to kill this last mob. Drink up a bit. Drink up in real life too. So yeah, we want to reapply Dampen Magic. There's not very many casters here, but for the few that there are, it doesn't hurt. My trinkets are kind of like emergency trinkets. We have this run speed for 10 seconds, which is amazing when you're getting chased by mobs and you take a slow that you don't want, or you get stunned or some shit. There's also this, which is nice for health, especially on longer pulls, but obviously that instant heal is kind of nice too. I do have potions as far as like health and mana potions. I'm kind of trying to do it without using those, but of course you can use those to kind of make like a crutch, if you're having trouble with the new pull, because they are definitely harder because your blizzard's not hitting quite as hard. You have to keep the mobs alive and balance them a little bit longer than you used to have to. So I used to Frost Nova there. I've kind of stopped because I've realized that when you Frost Nova, it leaves the mobs way behind in Africa. So we don't want them in Africa. We want them to be pretty well stacked. So I stopped Frost Novaing. I mean, but yeah, other than that, we're just kind of standard, same as it used to be. Grab everything. Blink as soon as I can. Turn around in Blizzard to stack them up a bit more. But not too long that I get meleeed. Looks like I was pretty good about that there. Oops, kind of clipped onto that corner there. Okay, so they should be relatively well stacked at this point. And I can do one more Fire Ward, a jump, and then here's my Ice Block. Back in the old classic, you didn't used to fall. You could be in midair there, which was, I think, slightly better, but not that big of a difference, honestly. Okay, so now we're just gonna start up our old Blizzard here. And you see now the Blizzard tick damage is down quite a lot to only 60. So big difference there. And of course we just keep our shields up and just kill the mobs. I'm gonna hesitate to use my Cold Snap, although I'm thinking about potentially I can, just depending on the exact timing of the runs, depending on how long this takes. But I want to keep the Cold Snap probably for my Cathedral part of this, because, you know, I would be doing another Cathedral run if I was actually boosting, instead of just demonstrating how this looks. And here you can kind of clip the edge of them, just sort of hit the very edge there, and once they get really low like that, they stop attacking, so you can just keep running into them and going crazy. So that's why that worked. And of course you could do it a bit more gracefully. I'm going to drink a Mana Pod here. Normally I would have my Mana Gem at this point, but I just didn't think to create it before starting the pull, so I don't have it. Just kind of cheat and use a Mana Pot, and that's 2-pull Armory plus Cath. And it works great on the new version of the game. So thanks for watching.